We got to start with the biggest game of the week, the Super Bowl rematch. The Eagles go to Arrowhead and take down the Kansas City Chiefs. That's 3 straight defeats for the Chiefs at the hands of Philadelphia. This was a really interesting game, Raza, but my biggest takeaway is the Chiefs are 0-2 for the first
Yeah.
time since 2014. Let's dive into that before we dive into the X's and O's of this game.
Yeah, man. The Chiefs are 0-2, first time in Mahomes' career. The last time they started 0-2 was the last time they missed the playoffs, which I believe was 2014. Um, Listen, you know me. A lot of our audience knows me. If anybody ever will play devil's advocate for the Chiefs and for Patrick Mahomes, it's your boy. Um, I can't do that right now. It's hard to look at the Chiefs
Wow.
right now and see anything that gives you any sort of hope. And the one thing I'll mention that's kind of holding them back is obviously they're without their top 2 wide receivers. And you take out any team's top 2 wide receivers, and it's hard for them to win football games and move the ball on offense. But really, like more than that, man, it's just teams know how to stop the Chiefs right now because there's no threat in their passing game. Travis Kelce is old and washed, and their wide receiver one is Hollywood Brown. So you can stack the box. That's why they've been unable to run the ball in these first 2 games, right? Patrick Mahomes is their leading rusher with twice as many yards as Isaiah Pacheco. That's insane. I think I saw a stat on ESPN that said it's the first time a quarterback has had like twice as many yards as the next leading rusher for any team. Like the second time that's happened since 1950 through 2 games. Some crazy stat like that. So they can just stack the box, stop the run, let Mahomes beat you with his legs because he's not going to beat you with his arm, which is crazy to think. But really, man, it's just the lack of receiving talent on this team between Travis Kelce being in the state that he is and no other receiver being able to make plays. But I also got to mention, man, Patrick Mahomes, it's just not the Patrick Mahomes that we've come to expect, the Patrick Mahomes that lights up our television screens every week. And it is partially because of what they're dealing with in terms of Rice's suspension and Worthy's injury, but it's also him, man. He's just not himself. It dates back to last year. You could even go to the year before. They don't have the guys on offense to make this death by 1,000 paper cuts thing work. And you're starting to see it come to fruition against really good defenses that can beat you in a multitude of ways. They deserve to be 0-2.
Who are you and what have you done with my friend? Because we've had countless arguments off the air about the Kansas City Chiefs the last couple of years. But I couldn't agree with you more to your point about Patrick Mahomes just not looking like himself, particularly late in the game, right? Because Patrick Mahomes is the guy that everybody picks as, okay, go win a game, superhero scenario. He's your guy, right? And he's earned that. There's no question about that. You don't win the Super Bowls and have the accolades that he has without that skill set. But late stages of this game, I understand he ends up hitting Horton on the not Hail Mary obviously, but the Superman throw,
Yeah.
gets into the end zone to kind of give him a chance. But before that, he's got Thornton wide open, overshoots him by like 20 yards, and then the play immediately following, he throws one 8 yards in front of the receiver into the ground, and you're like, what is happening to Patrick? And
Mm-hmm.
it's more than just that, but those are the situations that stick out the most because of the magnitude of the moment and the game that it is against Philadelphia. Man, I thought coming into this game, there wasn't a universe that Kansas City wasn't winning.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I just thought Arrowhead lost in week 1, kind of dropped the ball in Brazil. It felt like there's no way they start 0-2. And you got the Eagles at home and everything with losing to them in the Super Bowl and 2 straight losses to Philadelphia and opportunities to play them. Like, I just thought there was no universe that the Chiefs lose this game, and it wasn't enough. And the crazy thing about it, and we'll continue to talk about it throughout this episode, and I'm sure throughout the whole season, I can't even sit here and say they lost to the best team in the National Football League
No.
or the best team in the NFC for that matter. They're in that
No.
conversation. Don't get me wrong, they're in that conversation. I thought the Chiefs had to win this game, and they didn't. And I think they're going to be fine, but you know my point that I've hammered home how tough that division is. I think it's the toughest division in football this season. The
Mm.
AFC West with the Broncos, the Chargers look awesome. and then the Chiefs and the Raiders. And between that cannibalizing itself, and then you see how the performance is on the field against a very good NFL team that you should be, kind of equals to. They didn't live up to the standard. So we'll see. I think the Chiefs are a playoff team. Like, I don't think
Yeah.
anybody's sitting here saying they're not making the playoffs. Like, the Chiefs are going to be fine. But I don't know. I think the kingdom's crumbling.
So what's really okay, I won't go that far, but I will say what's funny about this game in particular, it felt like a passing of the torch of sorts, if you'll allow me to explain.
Please.
The the 20 so I said last week the 2025 Packers or the 2024 Eagles. I think the 2025 Eagles are the 2024 Chiefs,
Mm,
right? Defending champs, not as scary as they were when they won the Super Bowl. Don't win a lot of games convincingly, right? They're pulling out wins by the skin of their teeth, but they are winning games
right.
and they're going to keep winning games. The Eagles are 2-0. They just as easily could have been 0-2, right? Remember last year the Chiefs were 11-0 in one-score games, an NFL record. Now they're 0-2 in one-score games. Well, the Eagles are now 2-0 in one-score games. And if Travis Kelce and CeeDee Lamb, two of the best offensive weapons of this decade, had hands, they'd be 0-2, right? Probably.
Yeah.
But it's like it's so much more than that. Because I feel like even though last year Mahomes' numbers weren't crazy, they certainly weren't pedestrian. They were pedestrian by his standards. Jalen Hurts has not thrown a touchdown in 2025. Dylan Gabriel has thrown a touchdown before Jalen Hurts has. AJ Brown and Devontae Smith have a combined 104 receiving yards this season. It's not pretty on offense right now in
No.
Philly. And I still think their secondary is not great, but they're getting away with it. They got away with it in this game because of how shorthanded Kansas City is on that side of the ball. Like Jalen Carter did not have a great game. Their front was fine against Pacheco, like I said earlier, but it's like Saquon's still not doing anything crazy. Hurts isn't doing anything crazy. Gio, 11.7% of their offensive snaps in this game. That's 1 in every 9 for the mathematically inclined out there, were tush pushes. They can't move the ball otherwise. Like I think a lot of this has to do with Kevin Patullo being a not great offensive coordinator through 2 games. The scheme is awful. Like I hate to use the excuse like, oh, it's the OC or nobody's getting open. But I watched the tape on this game yesterday. Nobody's getting open on offense. And even when you have guys as good as AJ Brown and Devontae Smith, the scheme can work against them. And right now the passing scheme is working against them. So I'm going to sit up here and I will love to rain on the parade of Jalen Hurts and the Eagles and everything, but fair's fair. Okay. Their scheme sucks. And Hurts is doing what he can given the circumstance. And for what it's worth, they're winning, man. But this game has opened a lot of eyes to what I've seen for years facing this team twice a year, and what a lot of Eagles haters like myself have seen. The tush push is an unfair play, man. It's not just unfair because they're so good at it; it's because they get away with everything.
Yeah.
Like they
The
commit about
officials have
5 penalties.
yeah, the officials have no idea what to make of it. You
No,
see them standing there like, what are we doing?
yeah, it's getting ugly, dude. Brady on the broadcast was like, "This is getting out of control." Dean Blandino, NFL rules expert for Fox, said, "What was the exact quote? Like, I've given up on trying to
Yeah. They're
like officiate
clearly
this play."
it should be false starts, offsides. Like I mean, you said 5 penalties.
Hmm.
There's a laundry list of different infractions that you feel
Hmm.
like take place. I think the biggest one, the most staggering, is they literally go early.
They
They're
do.
pushing before they snap the ball. Like,
Yeah, it's unfair, man. And I think this game, I think also the NFC Championship game, remember Frankie Louvu jumping over the top like
yeah,
time and time again, have shown just how one-sided it is in terms of fairness. The defense has no way of knowing when the ball is snapped, and now the Eagles are getting away with false starts. You can't expect to stop it. And yes, the Eagles have always been best at this compared to other teams because they're built to do it. They're so massive up front, and Hurts squats 1,000,000,000,000, and then now Saquon pushing him squats 1,000,000,000 pounds as well. So if they get away, it's one thing if they execute it well and it's officiated fairly. Right now, it's not. It's already one-sided. I can't believe the play was not banned in the
I
offseason, right?
know.
It fell 2 votes short. It feels like we're staring at the end of it. And I think now, if the NFL takes steps to officiate this thing properly, we might see some interesting results from the tush push.
Is that something that would have to wait till after this season? I don't know the logistics on that.
Not necessarily. So, last night, the Geno Smith throws this arm punt and the Chargers pick him off at the 1 yard line. They lined up in a tush push formation, but before snapping the ball, the refs like had them shift on the line, saying like, "Hey, remember that it's like got to be center, guard, tackle here. Not everybody up at once." So, I'm sure you've seen on Twitter, right? The NFL has taken down their videos of the tush push from that sideline angle, which shows clear false starts because everybody's ganging up on the Eagles now.
Right.
I think you're going to start to see slowly but surely them actually start to enforce stuff because people are starting to catch up.
Interesting. It's so bizarre how like nobody can do it like they do it. Like,
No.
for instance, you watch the Buffalo Bills do it. It looks like,
Mhm.
with all due respect, Josh Allen's flailing like a dead fish on
Mhm.
top of this massive bodies, and you're praying that he doesn't fumble it as he jumps on top of the. But like, it doesn't look the same when anybody else does it. And
Yeah.
and Josh, I'm sure, I don't know, but I'm sure Josh can squat close to what Jalen Hurts can. He's got 4 inches of height on him.
That's right.
You know, Jalen Hurts is a freak in the gym, though.
He's unreal. Yeah.
Yeah,
And and
him
listen,
and Saquon.
he's I will say we've seen Hurts through 2 games now. We've seen Herbert through 2 games. I know it's just 2 games, but I think one side is clearly winning the offseason argument of who's better, Justin Herbert or Jalen Hurts, right now. But again, that passing offense is stuck in neutral. So interested to see how they bounce back from that. Because right now, Hurts is just, he's not being done any favors. But that team is difficult to watch, man. They are ugly as hell to watch. I have no intention of watching the Eagles play on any given Sunday.
To play devil's advocate for a quick moment, and then we'll move on to our other games. But to play devil's advocate for Patrick Mahomes here, and I hate to do it, but I think the game completely flipped on its head. There's no question when he throws a dart into the end zone to Kelsey,
Mhm.
hits off his hands because Kelsey couldn't catch the ball. Makuba picks it off, has a nice return off the pick, sets
Yeah.
him up with favorable field position, and then the Eagles are able to go on this 10-play, 59-yard drive in 5 minutes. And how do they
And then the game.
score? With a tush push to end the
Mhm.
game, essentially. And I know
Yeah.
Patrick ended up having the long ball to Thornton later on, and they tried to have the heroics and whatnot, but then when you needed to, the Eagles were able to get the first down, game over. And that was the difference. The Makuba pick was the difference. That wasn't
Right.
on Patrick. That was on
No,
Kelsey.
it's on Kelsey. And he's weird, man. Why is he like throwing hissy fits in the middle of the I don't know. I don't know. It's weird. I'm telling you, man, Taylor zapped his powers. I don't know what she did, but she went shoop